All right, video number 2. We're going to continue with part 1. Hopefully, again, these videos should work a little bit better. I'm uploading the first one. So find 3 geometric means. Same idea that we just did. So we are looking only for 3, though, in this case. So again, make yourself a little chart. What do we know? Well, if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 listed, we know a sub 5 is 49.92, which means n is equal to 5 because it's the 5th term. A1 is equal to 3.12. The only thing we do not have is our R value. So what we're going to do is sub it into our formula, which is right here. You get it down to the 4th root. So again, on the calculator, you type in 4 first, and then you're going to hit the math button, and you need that x to the radical. And then you can type in 16, and you end up with 2. Technically, it's plus or minus 2, so you have to be careful. Anytime you're taking the even root of a value, you get 2 values, plus or minus. So in this particular case, you're going to have to account for both options. So if it was positive 2 or if it was negative 2. So if it's positive 2, you're multiplying everything by 2. So that's not really necessarily going to impact anything sign-wise, though. But for negative 2, what you're going to find is that the signs are going to change each time you multiply by negative 2. So it's going to rotate from positive to negative, negative to positive, and back and forth. Okay, so anytime, the other one was a different instance because we were taking the 5th root. But for this particular one, because we're taking the 4th root of a value, you have to make sure that you have plus or minus and you account for both options that you could have for this. All right, now we're moving on to sequences. Or we did sequences, sorry. Now we're doing series. All right, so just like we had with arithmetic, you're going to have 2 of them for series as well. So we have S sub n equals a1 minus a1 r to the n over 1 minus r. Or we have Sn equals a1 minus a to the n r over 1 minus r. Again, here's your 2 specifications in terms of the information that you have that will determine which of the 2 formulas you are going to use. So you have to first decide, again, which information do you have, which will allow me to use which of the 2 formulas. Sometimes you have the option if you have everything, but usually there's always going to be one that you're definitely going to be able to use. All right, so if it says find the sum, so we're finding S sub n, so that's our unknown. Well, what do we have? We know A1 is 2, we know n is equal to 10, and we know r is equal to 3. So I'm just rewriting the information that's given to us. So I'm going to go back up here to the chart. So I know A1 and I know n, so I can use equation number 1. For the equation number 2, I know A1, but I don't know AN, which means I can't use the second equation. So my only option is the first equation that I can use. So again, equation says Sn equals A1 minus A1 r to the n over 1 minus r. I subbed everything in over here. Okay, what I would do is be very careful how much you try to put in the calculator. I would do 3 to the 10th first, then multiply by negative 2, then do 2 minus that, and then divide it by negative 2. And you're going to get a decimal a lot of times, which is fine. But just make sure that when you are practicing this, you are actually getting the same one that I have on the notes right here. All right, let's try another one. All right, so in this case, we have A1, 2000. We're looking for Sn, so that's our unknown. We have An, and we have R, 1/2, okay? All right, so in this case, if we go back up to the chart, first one said I have A1 and n. Well, I have A1, but I don't have n, so that's not going to work. The second one says I have A1 and I have AN. That one I have, so that's going to work. So I'm going to use the second equation for this one, which says Sn equals A1 minus a to the n times r over 1 minus r. Come back over here to where I subbed everything in. And then you simplify it down, and in this case, you are going to end up with a nice number.